Hi students, welcome back. This is my next video lecture and you can see the topic. Today I'm going to discuss about projectile motion. What is it? Projectile motion. A very important topic with respect to class 11 physics. You have seen motion of various objects, right? Motion of a particle, motion of a ball, motion of some object which is flying in the air, or you project it, you throw a stone or something. So for example, here you can see the football which I'm having, right? Suppose I give a velocity to it. It is at rest and suddenly I throw it. Can you see, can you observe, or those of you who play football, best example, you kick the football, right? It goes up in the air and then it follows a small curve and then it comes down. This can be also understood when even missiles are fired or rockets are fired. They always follow a particular path. In physics, we call that as the trajectory. Yes. And the trajectory or the path which the particle follows when it has been given some velocity to it, that motion acquired is known as the projectile motion for a particular particle. Henceforth, I'm going to discuss with respect to the same some important features of it. What can be those important features in projectile motion? In a projectile motion, you have an important feature like what is the trajectory of the motion? An equation of the trajectory. Trajectory means the path which it follows. And then we'll get to learn what is the maximum time for which the object goes in the air, or when it is given a velocity, how it goes and then it comes down, what is the maximum time of its projection. Then we'll learn even the maximum height, and then we will learn the time of the flight from the time it went up and when it came down, and with that we'll also see the maximum range along with the range, means how far it can go and what can be the necessary equations, because equations play an important role for you students to solve many numericals which come up from this part of the chapter. Basically, it's the chapter which you learn in class 11, chapter 4, that is motion in a plane. Yes, chapter number 4. Henceforth, we always happen to draw the particular two-dimensional figure. Two-dimensional figure means an x-axis and a y-axis for us to learn the concept. Henceforth, I happen to draw the same. This is your x, this is your y. Now, you students have to compare the same, that the ball kicked goes up and then comes down. So like that I can have a particular trajectory being drawn, and time and again I repeat, the word trajectory means the path of the motion of the object which it follows when it is being projected. So henceforth, one by one we will analyze and see the various equations that we happen to get. Okay, now this is the motion of the ball. It goes up, follows a curvilineous path, and this equation mathematically we call that as a parabola or a parabolic equation. What do we call this as? Parabola. So whenever you see a parabolic path occurring, you know that yes, it is a projectile motion. That's the main point of this particular topic. Yes, the missiles which are targeted to the objects, they will follow this. Henceforth, you have to know the missile technologies which are built up, they always are built up on the physics of trajectories, the path, the range, the maximum height, the maximum time, the time of its flight, all these things come into existence. Henceforth, parabola is basically represented in maths by the equation y equals to ax square plus bx plus c. That means my first objective is to see whether this equation is satisfied or not. That is ax square plus bx plus c. And we'll see how that happens with analysis. Henceforth, I am saying that when a ball, suppose for me I take the example of football, you take the example of rocket or missile or some other object like a stone or whatever, you threw it with some particular velocity, went up, then it came down like this. And so there was some velocity, initial velocity u in the process for an angle theta, because it makes a curve and there is a tank. there's a particular angle being built up. Can't ignore that, right? Yes. Now henceforth, you see theta, and now we can say one thing, that there is a velocity, right? Because it is having some initial velocity, henceforth I can say I am doing it in a two dimension. Two dimension means there is a vertical as well as horizontal aspect. That means the word or the meaning of the word two dimensional. Because when you learn motion in a plane, the chapter itself revolves with two dimensional aspects. This is the key word to be remembered. And hence, when you remember that, you're also supposed to know that we have a theta component, or you call resolution of vectors, which you will learn, and if you don't know, remember it. But basically that x direction, when I want to use a theta component, we use it as what? It is ux cos theta. For y direction, we generally use it as uy sin theta. These are the two main equations which you're supposed to remember. Hence, when I happen to have this along with the initial velocity and the angle theta, I can say that I can have velocity equations for respectively the x and y axis, because what I said, I will analyze. When I'm projecting the object, there is velocity, so I will have two equations. One is vx in the direction of x as ux plus axt. This is from the first equation of motion which you have already learned in class 9. You recollect it? It's the same thing. That's what I will have to use it over here. Vx equals to ux plus axt. But remember one more thing. Acceleration of the particle. This is going up, right? Going. It's in the y coordinate because it's having a vertical direction. That means ay will be equal to what? We know that acceleration is due to gravity, and when the object is going up, it is against the gravity, so it should be minus g into t. Important to be remembered. And acceleration in the x is 0, because I know the ball is going in the upward direction when it is being initially having some velocity, and that's where I analyze this particular case. Henceforth, what is my velocity in the y direction then? Let's complete the equation of this vx. It's ux plus axt. We know ax is 0, so this becomes automatically 0. What about this? We know that basically write this as better as ux and this one as uy. What is it? Velocity is in my x and y direction initial. Henceforth, I can avoid writing this x here because it's understood, and even the y, that it's a component of x and y. You can write u cos theta and u sin theta. That's sufficient. I substitute that, and I can write this as u cos theta. That is in the x direction. Let's take this as equation 1. What about in the y direction? We can also get an equation, right? That is vy, velocity in the y, as uy plus ayt. Now what that turns out to be, already I've given you, utilize it. It's u sin theta, and we know ay is minus gt. Right? So I can substitute there as minus g into t. This a is equal to minus g actually, but we know it gets multiplied with the t, so it's minus gt. Right? This becomes my vy, that is my equation 2. Hope you're all able to see the board till here. Next, if you analyze it carefully, if you also happen to know that two important things come out in the process. One is the particular distance it travels, because there is velocity and henceforth it's also traveling some distance, right? And we are going to use the equation of motion for distance, you recall, with time when it has an acceleration, s equals to ut plus half at square, respectively in the x and y directions, to know what can be the necessary equations. Ultimately, I have to observe from all this analysis, I get an equation of this form so that I can say, yes, the trajectory of a projectile motion is that of a parabola, because parabola follows this particular equation. Henceforth, when I happen to move on, I utilize this part of the board. Just observe here. I can have for the x direction as ux plus half ax t square. Now once again we know that ax is equal to 0, this part becomes 0, so you can write x equal to u cos theta. Right? We can have this x equals to u cos theta. And what about the y? If you remember, it's ut plus half at square, right? It's not this, you have to remember that t exists. Yes, u cos theta not is a style of representing, just understand. You can represent it like that or not, that's up to you, but I just keep a not. Doesn't matter if you keep or not. Yes, what is the other thing? It's uyt plus half ayt square. Henceforth here I can write u sine theta naught into t minus half into gt square. Right? So what happens? This is my equation 3, this is my equation 4. If I see all these 4 equations and ultimately my goal is to get an equation like this ax square plus bx plus c, I'll do one thing. I will use the equations 3 and 4 specially. Yes, this is how you will do it by practice, you'll understand. I can just neglect the first 2 equations, these are for my understanding, this exists, but what I will do now is I am going to utilize my equations 3 and 4, just look into that carefully. So henceforth I have this. Now when I utilize my equations 3 and 4, carefully if you observe, I can get an equation from this equation 3, I write it like this. From equation 3, I can have this as x equals to u cos theta naught into t. Now what is t from here? T is x by u cos theta naught. What will I do? I will substitute this particular equation, this time equation I can write, substitute, better you can write it as, substitute the above equation in equation number 4, and then we shall see if it's happening to be that of a parabola or not. Henceforth when I substitute, let's see what do we get. Substitute the above in equation number 4, we happen to get it like this. Equation 4 is this, don't forget. Henceforth we can write y, which is already existing in the left hand side, it is u into sine theta naught. What is this t? Substitute that value, which is x by u cos theta naught, and we can have minus half g into what is the t square, substitute that same, x by u cos theta naught whole square. Just observe this part of the board. This can be further written as u and u cancel, sin theta by cos theta, I know it's tan theta, so it's tan theta naught into x minus half into g, x square by u square cos square theta naught. Now all of you, yes, if you observe this equation carefully, tan theta naught into x minus half g into x square u square cos square theta naught, I just happen to put this x square, when you get it out, so just like this, half into g into u square cos square theta naught multiplied with the x square. Doesn't this equation look like ax square minus plus bx plus c? I do have a x square term with this multiplied, and I also have something with x similar to this parabolic form. Yes, and you might be questioning where is the c? Doesn't matter, it's not required. Don't you see equations like this? For example, 5x square plus 3x. This also becomes a part of a quadratic equation, isn't it? Many of the times when you have solved quadratic equations, don't you find like this, 5x square plus 3x, c term is not there, means it's a 0. Same thing happens over here, and hence I can tell this equation which I happen to get is the trajectory. What is it? The trajectory of the projectile motion, which is that of a parabola, that is a y ax square plus bx plus c, the same reflects over there. Hope you've understood this part. Let's move on to the next analytical or analysis part we will happen to yet to see. Let's move on. You all can rewind my videos and you can copy this down. But I'll rub the board and let's move on with the next analysis. So this is a very interesting concept, students really analyze and get the feeling over the subject as the way I happen to express it. You can also fall in love with the subject. Let's happen to see the next part. Remember these important things, I'm not dropping that. The next part which we shall happen to see or which we will now discuss is about the maximum time for which the object can be projected. Maximum time for which it's in the air before it falls down. Yes, that's what I'm discussing. Understand? The next topic which I discuss is maximum time of the object in its flight, which is represented by Tm. This is what is my point of discussion now. Henceforth, when I happen to discuss this maximum time, understand that there is a height existing and the maximum time is basically like the maximum point. Till here you can see it's like the ball has reached and then slowly it starts coming down. This is what you observe when you kick a football or when you project a rocket or a missile or even a particular object in your hand like a pencil or a stone, anything. Yes, at this particular point I am interested in knowing what is the maximum time. And for my interest is an expression or an equation which can fit into the situation. Henceforth, I know that in this process I can have the coordinate axis into existence. It's not going anywhere, right? There is an x-axis and there is a y-axis that exists. And I also happen to know that at this point of time when it is over here, will I have any particular value in the y direction? It's going like this, it's going like this, it's going like this, going like this, and then slowly it starts coming down. That means basically my y will be like a 0 and x will have some particular velocity. I am talking with respect to the velocity of the object. Through that I will get that equation of the expression of the time, the maximum time when it has come up over here. When it is reached this particular part, my dear students, observe it carefully. This happens to go down like this and it's coming with the x-axis. The y component is basically becoming 0. There's nothing with the y-axis. It's not going up and up forever, right? Where it is going? It's going to come down. And henceforth, using this condition of y equal to 0, I get the equation for the maximum time, for which I use the first equation of motion because I'm concerned with velocity and time mainly. Henceforth, it can be written as v equals to uy plus ayt, and this is like a vy, and I know that vy for me is 0, so put a 0 at this point and then substitute and see what you get. Uy is what? It is u sine theta along the y-axis, that's a component of the velocity. What about the ayt? It is minus gt, right? Because ay is acting in the upward direction, that's against the gravity, so that's minus gt, which is equal to 0. This vy 0, I'm putting it there. Now what can be the next expression? Write the t as a t max because I'm finding the maximum time for which the object is rising up. Henceforth, if you transpose this over here, this looks like t max equals to u sine theta naught or naught. You can put it that naught, or I can just avoid putting that. You better avoid putting it. Don't put that. It's for an expression, the way of just putting it up further, just adding as like a spice type. Not required. U sine theta. Then there is a g, right? We can't neglect. I transposed it there, and hence ultimately when I get a right Tm, max is understood. M stands for max. U sine theta by g. This becomes my expression for the maximum time of the object when it has gone up, which is u sine theta by g. Remember it, that Tm becomes equals to u sine theta by g. Yes. Done with this, let's have a look into the further aspect. See, it's a wonderful subject, isn't it? The analysis keeps on and on and on going, it doesn't stop. Still further, I can say one more thing. There is a maximum height also, right? It went. The same object, this is my football. I projected it like it went till here. There was a maximum height it attained, and hence I can find a maximum height for the equation also. Yes. And maximum height is basically like the distance s to be used. We'll use it as a h, no problem. That is the second equation of motion. When you have velocity, time, acceleration, and height, like a s or h, we use ut plus half at square. And let's check what can be an appropriate equation. So I put this up, remember it, this is the expression which you use it in many numericals, but I hope you had followed the analysis that I made. Let's have the analysis of maximum height. Okay, rubbing this. That means I put it as a h or a h max. Already I have said we are going to use the second equation of motion, understanding the circumstance, and hence when I use it, it becomes h equals to, and understand this is also in the y direction only, not in the x, right? Maximum height, it's climbing up till here, and basically y is becoming 0 because it's going to come down. Henceforth, again using the condition of y equal to 0 over there, or I can tell, yes, the maximum height is written in the y coordinate, so I can have h equals to u yt plus half a yt square. Now this is u sine theta into t, then this is minus half into ay. Instead of ay, what do we keep? We keep g, because we know it's gravity. Gt square. Now, if you observe this equation carefully, I have time here, time here. What is this time? Do not forget, it is the time for that maximum height of the object. Please do not forget that. Basically, at this y equals to 0 condition, we get the maximum height. So we do not write 0 over here because I am writing the expression for the height itself, not for any y. I didn't put a y over here, right? Like vy sine equals to uy plus at. No, it's h. Let's keep that as a h. Know that the y component is becoming a 0 because it's no longer going to go up, na? It's going to come down. Got it? Yes. So u sin theta minus half gt square. This t is basically the tm part of the equation. Do not forget that. Because maximum height is occurring with the maximum time of the object has taken place. And henceforth, when you substitute the equation for that's the reason I still kept on the board. Same over there. Let's see how the equation turns out to be. Which is u into sin theta multiplied with u sin theta by g minus half into g u sin theta by g whole square. Carefully observe, it becomes u square sin square theta by g minus half into g. This is u square sin square theta by g square. Square and g term gets cancelled, right? You can observe there, and I write it over here in this part of the board. Hope you all can see there in this part. Further, this can be expressed as h equal to u square sin square theta by g is there. There it becomes u square sin square theta by 2g, right? Yes. So you can also have a practice with me when I turn on the board and write. You also, students who are following this video lecture, can also write at the same time by not just looking back. And this happens to be u square sin square theta by 2g. Now don't you think we can take something common over there? Like I say, u square sin square theta by g into 1 minus 1 by 2, which is also right, like u square sin square theta by 1 minus 1 by 2 is half, right? So this can be done as 2g. Simplification, 2, see if you have 1 over here, take LCM 2, 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2, so I'm writing that 2 over here, that 1 by 2 is 2, got it? Henceforth, I can get an expression of h that is equal to u square sine square theta by 2g, and I put that up over there, the maximum height is u square sine square theta by 2g. And one more thing, remember, if one asks you what's the maximum height, because whenever you get this sine theta components, we know that sine is maximum when theta is 90 degrees, because sine 90 is 1. So you can substitute that for theta if they ask you for the maximum angle. It's a for knowledge, you may put that thing. So we have got these many. We are ready to analyze last another 2 important concepts on this. With that, let's finish it off. Right? Moving on, around this. I found the maximum time, I found the maximum height. Hope you have noted it down when I showed you. Rewind my video, you can observe it. Let's now happen to discuss about the time of the flight. When I say time of the flight, what do I mean? I mean the total time for the journey of this particular object, which went from here up, down till the path when it came down. That total time I want. That is known as time of the flight of the object, which can be written as TOF, like this, capital T with a small OF. So when I discuss about the time of flight, this goes up here, comes down here, that is the total time. Let's keep use the equation of the velocity and the time. Knowing that my y component is a 0, hence I can use Vy equals to Uy plus Ayt. What can I express out of over here? What is my Uy? It's U sine theta as usual, and this becomes my minus gt. Cool with that? Yes. What is this t? Don't forget, t is again the maximum time only. You have to substitute that same. So it's u sine theta. This is a 0, so I'll put that as a 0. Minus g into this, put that as a tm. We know the equation is u sine theta by g. Hence, what do I get over here? Students, with the time of the flight, is this the right equation? No. That is why I brought this up, for you to not make an error when you analyze. Time of the flight, I said it's the total time. Total time means there's a distance also covered, right? Do not forget that. That means such small things which I can put up in the video like this to make you realize that you don't make an error. Please observe these parts. When you are discussing time of flight, it means total distance also covered, it's covering, right? So I have to use the second equation of motion, not the first. So make this small change. So this is the way, when you see my video, you will never forget. We'll use the second equation of motion, which is, keep that as a y only, u y into t minus half gt square. Now what is my u y into t? Y component, it's u sine theta into t minus half g is there. What is the t square? T square is t square, but what are you going to substitute for this place of t? That is the most important part, isn't it? This is like a 0, right? So better think on this aspect. If everything I just do it on the board, I keep doing and doing, I just pause for a couple of seconds over here so that I can give you some time. You think, couple of seconds in the sense like 30 seconds. Let me just pause. It's not good that I just keep talking for the entire time, right? Pause. Hope you have got to some thought. Do not apply that time T max equation in this time, because here better get it as T subscript f and T subscript f over here. Send this to this side. You get it as u sin theta Tf equals to half GTf square. You know that Tf and square cancels out. The Tf equation becomes 2u sin theta by g. This is what you get, 2u sin theta by g. That means you can just analyze one thing. Maximum time is u sin theta by g. If I add u sin theta plus u sin theta by g, it gives me 2u sin theta by g. Hence, you can understand when I spoke time of flight, I meant the total time from here till here. That's like adding the maximum time at this part as well as at this part when it is just up to touch. So that makes some sense, and hence we get this. It's a good one, right? Yes. Moving on to the last concept, let's talk about the range. Range is like how far it can go. A maximum range. Suppose there's an object, I fire it at an angle say 10, then I fire it at some angle 20, 30, 40, 45, or you can tell the meters, 30, 20 meters, 30 meters, how far it is away from me. Let's have a discussion on that. And with that, we'll close today's discussion. That's the last topic. This is the range, the maximum. And if you see range, it occurs in the horizontal path. There is no question of vertical. Hence, I will use the component of x over here which is existing and resolve it, and basically it's with velocity, time, and even the acceleration. So we'll use second equation. Hence I can use x equals to ux into t plus half ax t square. Ax is 0 if you already have seen. This is u cos theta, leave the naught, no need. Then this becomes 0. This is x, u cos theta plus 0. What can you get from here? Now when I want to further move, I know that this part is automatically neglected because it's like a 0. I am left with u cos theta into t. Now what can I use? T as the time of the flight, because its total distance means the total time, which is nothing but the time of flight. So instead of I'm writing here as Tf. And what is the Tf equation? It is, you just got it, 2u sin theta by g. Write that over here, so don't forget. Substitute that same over there and check what you get. So which is like 2u sin theta by g. We know it is 2u square then sin theta cos theta by g. Now you can see there is a form of 2, just keep this u square aside for a while, 2 into sin theta cos theta. In trigonometry you have an equation to express this. 2 sin theta cos theta becomes equals to sin 2 theta. Yes, this is an existing equation, so use it over there. Hence I can write this as u square into sin 2 theta by g, which is the maximum range, which I'll express with the r and the end. And if somebody again asks what's the maximum range, you know sin theta is there, theta sin maximum at 90, theta 90 will give you a maximum range. Henceforth with this, I stop today over here and we meet sometime very soon. Rewind my videos, practice this, because you're going to apply this in many numericals. It plays a very important role in this chapter. Thank you on that note.